All right, welcome to our introduction to logarithms. So a logarithm is another way of writing an exponential expression. So for example, suppose that we have in exponential form 2 to the third power. Well, we know that 2 cubed, or 2 to the third power, is equal to 8. And that's how we would represent that expression or that equation in exponential form. The way that we would represent that in logarithmic form is by switching it around. So in a logarithm, we're going to have this notation log, and then a log has a base, just like an exponent has a base. And so the base of the exponent is going to become, or stay, the base of the log. It's the size of an exponent, but not in the same spot. And then we take the answer. So our answer over here was 8. And that becomes the argument of the logarithm. So normal size, it's not like an exponent, it's just even with the log. And then the answer in a logarithm is actually the exponent from the exponential expression. So the way that we would read this is log base 2 of 8 equals 3. And so this is our exponent from before, and this was our answer. So for example, in 1a here, we have log base 2 of 16 is equal to x. So this right here is asking a question. It's asking us 2 to what power x is equal to 16. So we know the base and we know the answer, but we're trying to figure out, okay, what was the exponent? So take a moment to think about that. So 2 to the 4th is 16. And so that means that x here is just equal to 4. Okay, let's try another one. So in this one we have log base 5 of 1/25 is equal to x. So this is asking 5 to what power is equal to 1/25. Well, we know that 5 squared is 25, and we know to get a reciprocal we would need a negative exponent. So 5 to the negative second equals 1/25. And so in this case, x equals -2. In C, we're starting with an exponential expression instead of a logarithmic. So we're going to rewrite this in logarithmic notation. So the question it's asking is 7 to what power equals 343. So that means that this is going to be log base 7 of 343. And we're wondering, well, what exponent is that? So if you're not sure, you can actually put this into your calculator, but most of these are small enough that we can do them in our head, or if you look at the back of the room, you will see your perfect cubes up there, and we see 343 is the perfect cube of 7. So that means that x equals 3. So 7 to the third equals 343. Okay. All right, I want you to go ahead and try the next two rows on your own, and then when you're ready, you can come back and check your answers for these. All right, so take a moment to check your answers for these. And then you may have been wondering, in F, we don't see a base here, and at the top here we have a little note about the common logarithm. So just like for a square root, we don't write the index of 2 because a square root is the most common type of radical that we do. So like that would be the same as that. We have the same kind of thing here with a common logarithm. So base 10 is the most common one. It's usually because of earthquakes. That's how earthquakes are measured. So we don't write the base here. So anytime you don't see a base with a log, it's just going to be 10. All right, so we're going to come back to this next part in another video. You're going to take out your parent functions paper next, and we're going to do that in the next video.